Hi guys! I think for those of you that have been asking me this question for a really long time, you'll be really glad that I made this video, and then there'll be a bunch of you who just do not understand why I've made this video. So just for a little bit of context, I shop on eBay regularly, and whenever I share something that I've purchased, I get the same questions like, how do you know what to buy? How do you find these things on eBay? And I'm totally approaching this from a noob place. So I asked on Instagram before I made it, what kind of things do you want to know? I don't want to be like teaching you to suck eggs. eBay's been around for a really long time. Most of us use eBay to some degree. But I think from the responses that I was getting, a lot of people don't use eBay. A lot of people don't shop on eBay. And so I am going to put some things in here that for those of us that do are going to seem crazy obvious. But hopefully even those of you that do use it on a regular basis may kind of glean some things from this that I do that maybe you don't. But it might not be for you, is what I'm saying. If you are a regular eBayer, this might not be your kind of video, but hopefully it's going to be useful for those of you who were just wondering how I buy things on eBay and wondering like how I go around or go about like looking for things, finding the stuff that I do. So, number one, the absolute toppest of the tips, and this is something that maybe you won't have considered doing. If you find something in store right now, it doesn't matter what store it is, it doesn't matter what item it is, it can be like technology, it could be clothing, it could be shoes, it could be anything at all. If it is like out of your price range but you really, really like it, take a picture of it, take a screenshot, whatever you want to do, keep it in a folder and wait. Because in 6 months to a year, maybe even less time than that, it's going to be on eBay. And the chances are you're going to be able to find a brand new whatever it is, and someone will have purchased it, not returned it in time, or it's an unwanted gift or whatever, and you will be able to find that for at least half off. That happens to me all the time. When it comes to like Topshop especially, certain kinds of brands, certain brands that I feel are a little bit higher priced than I would like them to be, I find a lot of stuff there. There are some things that end up going for more. Zara is one of those brands. If there is like a very, very popular item from Zara, it can happen with Topshop, but it's more, I'm just kind of more aware of it that happens with Zara and kind of brands that are very kind of bloggery. Things that become must-have items that when they've sold out end up for years. There are still some things that were like blogger favourites from Zara that I still occasionally find from years ago that are brand new, but people have held on to them and they're going for like twice the price. So occasionally that does happen. But for the average store, that's not a thing. Also Primark people sell things for more expensive too. But if you find something in Topshop, let's say it's a coat, because that's a great example for right now, then you're going to find it, let's say lightly used, an absolute maximum. And you're going to find it for like 50% less than you would have paid for it if you bought it outright in the store. And that happens all the time. So I frequently am looking for things that I have seen, or while I'm actually shopping, I'll think I really, really like that, I'll remember that. And I do have an ongoing list in my phone of things that I've seen that I want to kind of revisit. So as and when I want to have a little eBay session and have a look and have a little browse, I'll go back to that list and think, oh yes, I wanted to find that coat from Primark, or not Primark, that coat from Topshop, or that coat from Mango, or whatever. And always you will find those kind of deals. So that's number one. Number two, search out of season. So right now it is coming towards the end of the summer, so this is a bit of a tricky time. But I would say like height of summer, ideally spring, you want to be looking for things like winter coats. That is when people are going through, they're decluttering their wardrobe, they want to get rid of everything for the new season, and they're not really thinking of making a tremendous amount of money necessarily, and people are not searching for winter coats in the springtime. That is the time. So the season that we're approaching, then you want to start looking for kind of things that would be more spring, summer. So let's say when we get to like September, October, then looking for obviously swimwear, things like that, summer dresses, sandals, stuff that is out of season, stuff that is now, once you get into September, October, we're looking at the whole landscape of like shopping on the high street. Everything's already autumn, winter by that point. And it kind of is, it works that way on eBay too. So you want to flip it. So whatever is in the high street right now, you want to be searching for the opposite season. I, for example, more recently have been looking for a winter coat. I kind of feel like I'm just passing it now a little bit. And if I don't get one soon, I want like a big fluffy coat. They're really, really expensive in the winter time. Like someone might not necessarily go to eBay looking for that yet. Absolute depths of winter, don't be looking for a winter coat is basically the rule. One of the biggest questions that I get is stuff to do with designer things. So anything that's like a label, how do you know that it's real? How do you know How can you kind of have peace of mind? Ultimately, you can't really have peace of mind. It is an exercise in trust. The biggest thing that I do is always look for used. So if you're looking on, let's say you're looking for a purse, you're looking for a bag, you're looking for, it could even be like a pair of jeans, something that is expensive that you feel someone could be ripping off and selling a fake one. Always look for used, because in my mind, and this is not a guarantee, but in my mind, if someone is selling a fake, it's much more likely they will sell it as brand new than it is as used. There'll be plenty of people that have been totally duped and have still received fakes and they've been used and all that. I'm not saying that, I'm just saying that is one thing that gives me a little bit of peace of mind, and I feel like I'm looking at a better cross-section of stuff that is legitimate. And I have spent money on things that have been, I mean, I've sold designer handbags on eBay. And so knowing that does give me a little bit of peace of mind, because I feel like if I've done it, other people will be doing it. Also, if you do sell fakes on eBay, you can get your money back if you can obviously prove that it's a fake item. Then you are covered as a buyer, but you always will have that in your mind. Is this real? Is this not real? I totally get it. And ultimately it does come down to, you have to just trust that it either is or it's, do you know what I mean? Like, if you are going to be someone who really fixates and worries and worries and worries, it might not be the place for you to shop for really expensive items. But I found some really good deals on things, and number one is I always look in the used. There's loads of forums. If you're worried about certain things, like you can, number one, there's forums anyway, so you can find an item, let's say it's a handbag, you can go to a handbag forum, you can post it there, there'll be people who have got incredible knowledge about those particular designers, and they will be able to tell immediately if it's fake. They've just got crazy knowledge of this stuff. Also, there are loads and loads of blog posts people have put out there of like things to spot, you know, this is real, this is not real, look, and really tiny, tiny details. So if you put the research in and you put in the legwork, you can still save a lot of money by shopping on eBay. But obviously I'm completely aware that it does come with its own risk factor, and it is a risk. It is a risk. And I understand that's not necessarily the answer that people want, but that is kind of how I do it. So I will, if it is something very expensive, I will look online for little telltale signs of what might be fake and like versus what is real, but also I kind of trust. And I've never received an item that I think has been fake. And lastly, I set up alerts. So this happened, I actually didn't even know this alert thing was a thing until I lost this necklace. You may remember if you've been following me for a long time, I wear this necklace all the time. I had a phase this year when I was wearing a different necklace. Several people asked me where it was. It's back. So this is a Tiffany & Co necklace that Lee, well, it's not technically, but that Lee bought for me several years ago in New York. I love it so much. There's everything about this I love. And it's such a simple thing, and you wouldn't think it would be, it's not even like it's got incredible sentimental value, but obviously he did buy it. I was wearing it all the time and it just felt like me. And I felt weird when I didn't have it. So anyway, I took it off once. My friend bought me a necklace for my birthday and I put that one on and took this one off. And it was sitting on the mantelpiece for weeks, and it really bothered me because every time I saw it I thought I'm gonna lose it. And so I took the other necklace off and I put this one back on again, and I went to a wildlife park with my friend, and when I got home it wasn't on my neck. I mean, of all the places I could lose something, to this day I don't really know where I lost it, what happened, but obviously when I refastened it I didn't refasten it properly and I lost it, and I was absolutely bereft. Like, I could have cried. I don't think that I did, but I could have cried. I was really upset about it. And so I immediately went to eBay because you couldn't buy it anymore. You can buy similar versions, but you can't buy exactly this one, which is what I wanted. I went to eBay, I searched, there were one or two, but they were going for a lot of money. And so I decided I would set up an alert. So I did that. And maybe once or twice a week, I would get an alert, something similar to what you're, something that fits your description. It wasn't always exactly what I was looking for. Sometimes it was something completely different. But I would say 50% of the time it was this necklace. Some people were selling them for like £200. It was like 100 originally. I was like, no. And some were like, what's the word I'm looking for? What do you do on eBay? It's a bidding site. Oh my God, I was like, auction site. Okay, some were auctions and they just ended up getting to really high prices. One day one appeared in my inbox, and it was like, I think she was selling it for like £30. It was like the starter was £30, and I contacted her and said, I'll give you 80 if you do like buy it now. and she gave it to me, and she obviously didn't understand what she had because they were going for a lot more than that. But then I got exactly my necklace back. It's a different necklace, it's secondhand, but who cares? But that is my, that would be my kind of, well actually no, I've got one other, but that would be my main story of having the alerts on it actually being very successful. The second one is there's one particular kind of handbag that I really, really like, and they don't make it anymore, it's very rare, but again, once it actually goes on eBay, people sell them for not a lot of money because there's not a lot around and it's very difficult to guess how much to sell them for. They're not crazy, crazy expensive, but originally somewhere in the region of £600. And the most recent one I bought, I think, was like 130 on eBay, and it was absolutely perfect condition. So occasionally things will pop up that are very rare to find, very rare to be listed. And it's worth having the alert for those particular things because it's just, it's like, it's a different kind of shopping, but it gives you an extra buzz because you feel like you really had to work to find those items. I do want to do an honourable mention. In fact, I have two. I'll do this one first. This is a jumper that I know I'm sitting funny. I've got like my computer on a little thing in front of me. I feel like I'm sitting like in a strange way. But I know I am sitting in bed. I've got this jumper that just arrived. I think I paid £20 for this, and it would have been in the region of 70, 80 full price, and this is from Wild Fox. It's a blue one that I was wearing a lot recently, and I paid around £20 for that one as well, and lots of people asked about it. Again, it's the same style of jumper, and I've got loads of Wild Fox jumpers from eBay in the past because they are so expensive, but they're all, the whole style of them is like a worn jumper, so the more they're worn, they're not worse. They're not better, but they're not worse. And with items like that, you know, something that's supposed to look a bit weathered. Leather jackets, great example. You can't really look worse over time, unless it's got a hole in it. It can only kind of look better with time. So leather, it just, also, we must just circle back to leather jackets. Leather jackets are a great thing to buy on eBay. But I bought this, and this is kind of what kickstarted in my mind. I was like, I really do need to make that eBay video because so many people did ask me about the Wild Fox sweatshirt when I wore it. That blue one, it says exercise, like S-I-G-H-S, size. And once I loved that one so much, I put an eBay alert on for all of these Wild Fox sweatshirts. And now I get an email multiple times a day because the people put them on all the time. And occasionally there's one that I love, which I love that one. And one last thing that I bought that arrived this week, I actually bought a bag that's exactly the same style, but all leather from the Outnet. This is supposed to be something in the region of £300 or £400 full price. And it was £150 on the Outnet in the sale. And it wasn't the right size. It was difficult to tell. It's a Rebecca Minkoff Julian backpack. I've wanted one for years, but I wanted one that fit my iPad in it because if it doesn't fit my iPad, what's the point? I'm pretty much always going to be taking my iPad somewhere that would have, I would need a backpack. So I picked up this one from eBay. It's still got the tags on it. Ta-da. This was £50. It is nylon, but still, I think it's still something like £200 even nylon, full price. And this was £50. It's still got some like leather details. Here is all leather. These are like suede tassels or leather tassels. And it's absolutely perfect. And it was brand new. It came in the dust bag. Again, I had an alert on for that because I got the Outnet one, it wasn't quite right. I found out that the nylon one was a slightly larger size and was going to work for me better. And this was the first one that came up. £50, done. So much cheaper than even the Outnet price on the leather one at a discounted rate. And it's exactly what I was looking for. Super lightweight, really, really happy with it. But this is all eBay shopping. So I knew as soon as these things arrived this week, I was like, if I mention them, people are going to ask me. So here we are. Here is the video. Hopefully this is useful. I completely understand that there'll be loads of people watching this thinking, this is ridiculous, it's super simple. But it's not simple if you don't know, is the thing. And it's very difficult to gauge from everyone whether or not this is something that is going to be useful for you. Hopefully there will be a handful of people for whom this is like, yes, this is exactly what I'm looking for. So apologies for those of you who feel like I'm like, you know, really dumbing it down for you. But it's a very daunting thing to buy things on eBay. There's lots of kind of risk involved, lots of worry about how do I do this, how do I do that, how, because it's not a normal shop. You're buying things from other people and it's strange if you've never done that before. So I can't speak highly. Like Lee buys things from it this week. He bought some black Converse. He buys things from eBay constantly. Most of his clothes he buys from eBay because he just buys like t-shirts and stuff that once you've washed them, they're the same anyway. Like if someone's bought a t-shirt from, let's say, All Saints and they've worn it a couple of times, you can get that for a couple of pounds. It's insane. Like you can buy clothes for so cheap. I don't even know how it's worth it for the people that are selling them, honestly. And things like Converse, I know some people feel weird about shoes, but things like Converse, for example, that are a real bitch to wear in, it's nice to have them pre-worn in. I have no problem with buying things secondhand, anything really. Maybe underwear, but who's selling? Well, there is a market for that on eBay. Not the market we want to be in. But yeah, I have no problem with like secondhand stuff. And people have asked me about like doing thrift store or like charity shop for us in the UK. Shop with me's. And I may do that. That's something that I haven't really ever done, but I'm considering doing one of those as a Sunday shopping. But this is my equivalent. This is what I do. If I'm looking for something that normally would be quite expensive, like if I'm on ASOS and I'm like, oh, I'd really like, I really have it in my mind, the winter coat thing, because our next holiday will hopefully be January in New York, so it's super cold. But I might think, oh, I really liked that thing that I saw on that blogger. I wonder if it's on eBay. A great thing is if you've got one particular blogger who you follow, and I'm using this as an example because many of us take inspiration from fashion bloggers or just like, you know, in Instagram people. If you go all the way back in their feed to like a year ago and then look at the things, where did they come from, the stuff that appeals to you, chances are those things you'll never be able to find on eBay. It's a huge place and not everybody understands the value of something. And really the value of it is only what you're willing to pay. And if you're the only person that really wants that thing, then you could get it for dirt cheap. Hopefully this has been useful. Like I say, very long and rambly end. And that it's answered some of the questions that you had. And if not, don't worry, because in a couple of days there's going to be another video that's nothing like this, and you might enjoy that one. So, see you later. Bye!
Every time I'm going out, the same things keep happening.